Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hammers Polls, and it is my own personal player ratings for the 2020-2021 season. And yeah, I just watched a great game. Man United have just gone out, which is in an unbelievable penalty shootout, I might say. But this is the player ratings for me, and I am going to get into it right now with this man. Lucas Fabianski. To me, he gets a 7, I believe. I think he's done all right this season. I think that he's been pretty solid in certain games. He's been reliable, but some games this year he's been a bit, what's the word? A cause for concern, in my opinion. I believe that he's on the injury front, so to speak, and the injury fronts are not good. So, yeah, he gets a 7 for me. He made a few howlers this year. The Liverpool home game, when that Salah scored that great goal, I think he should be out of his box a bit more lively than he did. Newcastle away. There was another game I can't remember, but where he sort of airily was no good. But other than that, he's been pretty standard and he's been pretty solid. So a 7 for me for Mr. Fabianski. Now let's get on to this man, Randolph. For a backup, I think he's been all right. I'm going to give him a 6. I think he's been okay. He done well against Man City. He comes in the team against Man City. We expected him to lose 5 or 6, and we only lose 2-1. So, yeah, he's been good. Could he have done anything more with the games he's been involved in? Not really. Against West Brom, he played all right. Yeah, again, he kept us in the game really against West Brom, so he gets an extra point for that. But yeah, a 6 is fair for me, for him. We will come to this man, Mr. Cresswell. He's my player of the year. I think he's been absolutely first class. I think he's been phenomenal. 5.4 million, come from a different country, took to the Premier League like duck to water, if I'm honest, and he's been really, really good. He gets a 10 out of 10 for me, mate. Like, to come to the league, embrace the league, take to the league. He's been the best right back in the league. Like people say, he could score goals. Like, there's been chances of him scoring. He's not paid to score goals. He's paid to defend. And at the end of the day, he does exactly what he says on the tin. He's a no-nonsense defender. He's got some assists this year. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 for me, for Mr. Cresswell. Ryan Fredericks. I'm not a fan, I'm afraid. I think this man needs to be sold. I don't get the hype on him. Yeah, he runs a bit, but when you look at Cresswell is a natural defender, and he can defend and he can attack. I just think he's been here for many years. Excuse me. He's come to his 30s now, and basically, I think it's time to say goodbye and get someone in who we can either build up or get another player who we've got at the club and give him the opportunities. This season, he's done a job against Grealish. What else has he done this year? Scored a goal against Sheffield United. He hasn't really done anything else. Started off the season okay, but then Cresswell come in and it's night and day, innit? Like, Cresswell was a much better player than Ryan Fredericks. So yeah. So for me, I'll give a 6. I think 6 is fair. I think when he has come in, he's done okay, but I want to see better than Ryan Fredericks at the club. Ben Johnson. This is another one for me because this man's been shoehorned into positions that basically he can't play. He's not a left back. He's not a left wing back. He's a right-footed player. He's a right back. And we've been asking him to do positions that he's not comfortable in because our owners haven't gone out and got another left back. When he's come in, he's done okay. I understand what the criticism of certain individuals when they say basically he cuts inside. I get it, like, because he's right-footed. Do I think he's the solution going forward or the future? Yeah, I think you can learn a lot from Cresswell and how to defend, and I believe that we need to go out and someone get left back as cover. So yeah, he gets a. I'll give him a 6. I think 6 is fair. He's done okay. The only left back at the club that we have got is this man, Mr. Cresswell, and I'll be honest with you, he's been phenomenal this year. 18 months ago, this man was nowhere to be seen. He was out the door. No one wanted him. Said he wasn't good enough, and basically, we need to sell him. 18 months on, Moyes has come in, galvanised this man, made him a top player, top assists for the season. Phenomenal crosses. Defending is a bit of an issue with me though with him. Like defensively, he's not good, and when he is in a defensive position, he's all over the place. So on that aspect of things, I am going to give him a. I will give him a 8. It would be a 9, but I think 8's fair. I think defensively, he's not good. Like he gets ball watching, gets caught out of position a bit. When he goes to a 3 at the back, he's good. When he goes to a 4 and he's the left back, he's okay. So that's the difference for me. So yeah, Cresswell gets an 8 for me, mate. Masuaku. I'm not a fan. I'm afraid. I really ain't. He's been here 5.5 years now, 6 years. I don't see any improvement with this geezer, and I don't see any improvement going forward. Yes, he's got good feet. Yes, he carries the ball, but this man can't defend for love of money. Defensively, he's not good. His crossing is hit and miss. He can go carry the ball forward, and he does carry the ball at the pitch very well. But, and there's a big but here, that's all he does. And I want to see players who can do both. The left-hand side is a major issue for us at this club, and we do need a left back and a left wing back. I don't believe Masuaku is the answer to that. So for me, I'm going to give him a 6. When he has come in this season, he's done okay. He made an absolute howler at Liverpool, but he did get an assist at Wolves away. So yeah, he gets a 6 for me, but I just don't see a future for Masuaku at the club. I'm afraid I really don't, and I think maybe he needs to move on. Craig Dawson. This is another tough one. When Craig Dawson was signed, excuse me, I wasn't a fan. I thought, why are we buying this or loaning this player from Watford, who is a relegated player? He'd done really poorly with Watford last season. Watford didn't want him at the club or whatnot. So what he's done this season, he's done very, very well. The last sort of 5-6 games, though, he did go off a little track. Newcastle away, he went all over the place. Aston Villa away, even though we won the game, he was giving the ball away a hell of a lot. But in the overall scheme of things, he's done well. He's done well for us. So I will give Dawson a solid 7. I won't give him an 8. The Newcastle thing irritates me a bit. You're an experienced defender. You should know that you don't go into things, especially when you're on a yellow card, and give away anything, so to speak. So yeah, he gets a 7 for me. Easy answer this one from Mr. Angelo Bonner, a 9. If he don't get injured, we get Champions League, I believe. Defensively, solid, first class. He's Italian. He knows how to defend. I believe that this man's getting better with age, but the only problem with him is his pace. When he's up against speed, there's a little bit of an issue there. He's the best defender at the club. He's another defender that no one wanted 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Said he's no good. So yeah, he gets a 9 for me. He's been absolutely first class, and I do believe if he didn't get injured, we would have got top 4. Issa Diop. I don't get this man's being a scapegoat, really, if I'm honest. This lad hasn't really done a lot wrong, right? He makes mistakes, but they all make mistakes. Like Dawson's made mistakes this year. If Diop would have done what Dawson would have done at Newcastle, he would have been hounded out of the club massively on social media. Does Issa need to get better in what he does? Absolutely. He needs to learn how to jump. He needs to learn how to be a bit more aggressive. He's too lackadaisy in his defending, and he needs to be a bit more rugged. And I think we've got a top class player there. Issa's a talent. You don't. Jose Mourinho see it after the first season. Said he's a beast at the back. Now we've just got to get the best out of him. Now, if that means you've got to get him into the Europa League games to get him more confidence. And I do believe he's a confidence player. I've always said that, and I believe that he gets a bit harshly treated, really. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. I think a 6 is fair. I think a 7's too high and a 5's too low for him. Really, he hasn't really done a lot wrong, and people say about he makes many mistakes, and that's what makes Dawson make mistakes in certain games this season, i.e. Newcastle away. But they're both as bad as one another sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he gets a 6 for me, which I think is fair. But I would like to see him improve next season. Balbuuna. With Balbuuna, I'm going to give him an overall rating for the season. He gets a 7 for me. I like Balbuuna. He was a no-nonsense defender, but he didn't have a lot of pace. It proved it against Tottenham that when you go up against pace with him, he's all over the place. He did score the goal to get us back in the game for Tottenham, but in the grand scheme of things, it was all about the pace with him for the league, and I don't think he's suited for the Premier League, so to speak. He will do a job, but a 25, 30 game season, man, I just don't see it myself. So yeah, he gets a 7 for me, and I do wish him well wherever he goes. I will be back in 30 seconds. You can count them. Right, we are back. We are on to the midfielders now. And it's this man, Mr. Declan Rice. 10 out of 10. Forget the injury. The man's world class. This boy is 22 years of age. He's leading their club. And for me, personally, I look at this lad and I see the future. He's driven. He wants to win. He wants to succeed. He wants to win stuff. He enjoys having the club on his shoulders, and it's so nice to see. For how much we love Mark Noble as a player, he's never been world class. This boy is a world class DM, box to box, and he's phenomenal. He's what we need to progress, and it's quite easily a 10 out of 10 for season for him. Is he my hammer of the year? No. I believe that Rice, the injury stops him from being hammer of the year, in my opinion. My hammer is Kafal. But Declan Rice is just top quality, mate, and we have to keep hold of him 100%. This man, Thomas Souček. I'm going to give Souček a 9. And the only reason why I'm going to give him a 9 is because I know people say about when Rice wasn't there, he had to do that defensive role. I agree, but then I don't agree, because aerially he wasn't even there when Rice was there. There was times where he just wasn't there when Rice is there. He becomes a world class player. When Rice wasn't there, he wasn't the same player. and that doesn't mean to say he wasn't good, but he just wasn't the same. It wasn't the Thomas Tuchel that we know. Do you know what I mean? This season, first full season, he's been top quality though. He's got some important goals. Fulham at home, Everton away, to name a few, like where he scored winners. And the lad is a beast in the box, aerially, physically. He knows how to get in there, and I will always remember the Tottenham home game when he got smashed in the face, claret all over his face, and basically it was like he got down on the floor, got up, and he was prepared to stop that ball from going in the net. And that's the sort of player we love at West Ham. We love that hard-working, no-nonsense, full-on commitment to the shirt. So yeah, he gets a 9 for me, and it's just that's a high 9. Do you know what I mean? Just one little thing that didn't make it as a 10 for me. But yeah, Thomas Tuchel, top class. Robert Snodgrass. I'm going to give Snoddy a 7, mate. I don't think he's as bad as what people make out, really. He could come in, do a job, get about the pitch. I think what he does for charity is amazing. I think what he does, like as the banter and as like the morale of the team is good. Could he have done a bit more at West Ham? Maybe. Like, he could score some more goals. When he was at Hull and Leeds, he was a good, really, really good player, and that's why we signed him. And he was the signing to replace Dimitri Payet, which was no mean feat. But yeah, I think that for his time at the club and what he brought to the club, yeah, he deserves a 7 for me. And I was sad to see him go, but sometimes things run their course. But it would have been nice to keep him to the end of the season and maybe let him go with fans. That would have been a fitting tribute, maybe. So yeah, a 7 for me. Mark Noble. This is another one for me, because when he's playing number 10, right, he gets a 1 because he's not a number 10. But I'm going to give him a proper rating. I'm going to give him a 7, because the times when he did come in, when Rice got injured, he done very well. Leicester at home, we won the game 3-2. He put in a match saving block against Tielemans. Tielemans has a shot, it's on target, it's going in, and he puts his body in the way. He puts another good performance in against Wolves, and then he got injured. So he's done well for when he has come in. Yeah, he gets a 7 for me for that, and just for being Mark really in himself. And it's going to be a sad time when he does go next season. Manuel Lanzini. Well, the goal gets 10 out of 10 against Spurs, but overall he gets a 5 for me. He hasn't done enough. He's had one good game in the whole season. Like, he's had one goal and one good game in the whole season. The goal versus Spurs, and the game was Burnley. Other than that, he's been pretty non-existent. He come on against Sheffield United, done nothing really. Or he started against Sheffield United, and yeah. Do I think he's a good backup to have? If he can adapt, then yes. Do I think we should sell him? I don't know. And I'm going to sit on the fence with that one. I really just don't know. If someone comes in and says we give you 15 to 18 million for him, I would take it. Anything less than that, it's just not worth it. So we might as well keep him. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5. I'm afraid. Like, he hasn't really done nothing really, other than that score that goal, which was a great goal, but we can't be sort of praising and rating a man on one goal in a 38-game season. So yeah, for me, he gets a 5. I would want to see more from the bench, and I would want to see more of him being an influence of the bench. Pablo Fornals. I've got mixed views on this man. I really have. Part of me thinks he's all right. He does all right. Gets around the pitch, gets stuck in, hard working, does all these like dirty stuff, like the dirty side of the game. The other part of me sees a player who's playing an attacking position and only scored 5 goals and got 3 assists or whatever it is. Like, to me, that's not good enough, in my opinion. So I look at this man and I see a player that has got better, but it's only slightly better. And when you're playing as an attacking player, you need to be contributing at the other end of the pitch rather than running around. Like we've got two top DMs in midfield. We don't need another one. I know it's the way Moyes wants to play. I get it, but to me, if as an attacking player, you've got to be getting better stats than 5 goals and only a few assists. So yeah, 4-0 gets a 7 for me this season. I think he's missed absolute golden chances this season, like loads of chances. And there's been times before where he's skied balls over the bar, and if that's anyone else at the club, they're getting criticised. So he gets a higher 7. Yeah, and that's being kind. I want to see him getting at least the same amount of goals as Bowen. Do you know what I mean? If Bowen's getting 8, 9 goals in the season, that's what Fornells needs to be getting. Like if you're playing 30 plus games in the season. So yeah, he gets a high 7 for me. Speaking of which, Mr. Jared Bowen. This is the player that's disappointed me the most this season. Now, Jared Bowen is a top quality player. Young. When he was at Hull, he was banging in goals in left, right, and centre for Hull. And he's done well. Like he goes in spells for me. He's 1 minute he's really, really on fire, phenomenal. Like can't be touched. The other side of it, he goes missing for a few games and then no one knows he's on the pitch. So for that, I'm gonna have to give him a high 7 like Fornells. I want to see more. There's a player there. He's done well in games, but then he had a little spell of about 12 games, including cup games, where he done absolutely nothing. Like he was run about, he cut inside. The boy needs to look up a bit more. Right, he needs to look up, see where everyone's about, and feed people in. It seems like he gets the ball, he runs, puts his head down, he just runs, and wherever he just runs to wherever his feet are taking him, basically. So yeah, he gets a high 7 for me. He's a talent there, and I do believe he will come good. But yeah, he just needs to open his eyes a bit more and be a bit more in the games. Like when he's not filling up for it, try and get involved and make something happen. So yeah, a 7 for me for Jared Bowen. Jesse Lingard. If I wasn't a fan at the start, mate, if I'm honest, I'll be truthfully honest on this one. I just wasn't a fan of him. I was like, is this man going to be a disruptive influence on the dressing room? But he's done the complete opposite. He's like been a breath of fresh air. He's been bantering. He's been getting the boys together, laughing, joking, good spirits, good vibes. Yeah, top. He's been top drawer. First 10 games, Ballon d'Or winner. Like that's how good he was. Last 5, not really as good. A little bit of a concern that I know he set a good standard, and I can understand that, but he did go missing for 5 games, and he didn't just go missing. He was not in the games at all. Like really wasn't. He got an assist at West Brom, but let's face it, like for 88 minutes of that game, 89 minutes of that game, he was non-existent. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give him a 9 for the influence that he's done. It would be a 10 if that would have carried on. But then if it would have carried on, he might not be with us. He might be going to somewhere bigger. Do I think we sign this man in the summer? I honestly don't know. I hope we do, but I'm not too sure, if I'm honest. The last 5 games sort of, it seemed to me that his head might have been turned somewhere else. And I know he's got shirts of his kids in shirts and all that, but nothing surprises me with footballers. Let's be honest. I've seen many footballers go from one rival to another and not even bat an eyelid. Do I want to see him in the claret and blue next year? Absolutely. And I think if we do, it's a great signing for us. But let's wait and see. And I hope we do sign this man. I really do. Saeed Benrahma. I like this man. I've backed this man up for a hell of a long time. I've took much criticism for backing this man. I've had Twitter spats, YouTube spats. I've had rows with different YouTube channels about this man. This man has come from Brentford. He's not a Dimitri Payet reboot 2.0. This is a man who needs to bed himself into the Premier League. Can he be as good as Dimitri Payet? I believe he can be. He's young. He's got untold amounts of talent. He needs to be given confidence. So this season, he's been in and out, and when he has come in, he's done good, in my opinion. And I can only think of 2 games maybe where he weren't any good. Everton and Liverpool at home. Like the rest of the games, he's played in games where we've been phenomenal. Some of our best performances this season, he started. Palace away, Villa away, Leeds away. So yeah, for me, Benrahma, he needs to be given a bit more confidence. Is it because Jesse Lingard come in and basically not so much disrupted it, but sort of Jesse Lingard first, side Benrahma second? I don't know, but all I know is that the man is a talent, and he should have over 10 assists this season if other people knew where the goal was. And for that, I'm going to give him a high 7 with 4 nails. Like I'll give Bowen 4 nails and Benrahma all high 7s. I believe they can all be better than what they've done this season. They've all been in and out. They've all been good and then they've been bad. And it's inconsistencies of all 3 of them, really. Benrahma gets a high 7 because he's a really good player. He's first season at the club and he's got 6 assists and 1 goal this season. And every time he seems to play, we seem to play really well. Do you know what I mean? Barring two games. So yeah, he gets a high 7 for me, and I want to see a lot more of him next season. Sebastian Haller. You either love him or hate him, like with this man. And for me, technically, he pisses all over Antonio. Like technically, as a striker, he pisses all over Antonio. Antonio's got the work rate, but technically, Haller was better than him. People say I can't stand him. He's this, he's that. I think we missed the boat with him myself. I don't think we should have sold him in January. And if we did sell him in January, why didn't we get a replacement? People say you bring in Jesse Lingard, granted, but we did get rid of 2 players, not just 1. And we were short as it was. Like we all needed a striker, and a backup striker could have done something for us. He scored some great goals for us. He scored a great goal against Palace this season. He scored the winner at Sheffield United away. So I'm going to give him a 7 for his overall time at West Ham. I don't think the league suited him, so to speak, but I do believe that he was decent. And he was like a pretty easy scapegoat for some people, but his work rate was left to be desired. Like it wasn't good. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. I think he done all right the first season he was here, and I think basically he either got found out or he just didn't fancy it in the end. So yeah, he gets a 7 for me. Yarmolenko. Time to go, I'm afraid. It really is. He's on over 100k a week. Like he's sitting on the bench. He scored a great goal last season to keep us in the league, and I do believe that was a turning point against Chelsea. Do I think he can cut it now in the Europa League, League Cup? Not for me. Not for me. If you're going to do that, you might as well bring Odobekio. You might as well get rid of him and have Odobekio as your backup, because I'll just look at this man. He does multiple turnovers, like step overs. It just does nothing. Like he's ineffective. The only thing I can thank him for is when he took Bale out in the 3-3 draw. Bale goes through, he knocks him off balance, puts the ball wide. Other than that, he's been non-effective when he's come on. In certain games, certain cup games, he's done nothing. Coming on as a sub, he's done nothing. He's had COVID this year, granted, but he's not the same player as he once was. And I think for both parties, he'd be better than him and West Ham part ways. What do I rate him? I'll give him a 4. And that's being generous. he hasn't really done nothing for me. He really hasn't, and I think he needs to go, if I'm honest. Mikel Antonio. This is an hard one. This is a really hard one for me. For his work rate and effort, he gets 10 out of 10. For the chances that he creates, not so high. This boy gets multiple chances. I mean, multiple chances. And he scored 10 goals this season. He should have 20 easily. And if you go and have a look from start to finish, the amount of chances that this boy has missed, he missed X amount of chances at Palace. He hit the post at City. He hit the post against Arsenal. He hit the post against Wolves before he come off. Like, this is like Mikel Antonio is like a Marlon Harewood type player. When he's good, he's good. And when he's bad, he's not effective. He gets involved in goal contributions, but he's recently, which I don't like, is he's going from left to right and going on to the wings. We need a striker who stays between the width of the goal, basically. And he doesn't do that. He seems to get attracted to the ball. But for his effort this year, he gets a 9. I'll give him a 9 this year for everything what he's done. He scored important goals as one of his games this year. Burnley away, Burnley at home, West Brom at home. So, yeah, I'll give him that. I believe he's done well for us. I really do. And basically, I believe now we need to go and sign a striker that puts him on the bench. Like, if he comes and he's starting next season from the front, I won't be impressed. I'm sorry, but I won't. Like, he's too injury prone and we can't rely on him. Give him a 20-minute spell or half-hour spell, come off the bench, he'll terrorise defences, especially if they've just done 60 minutes. So, yeah, for me, he's done good, but we've got to be looking at a replacement. And we need to get a replacement from anywhere that can sort of be our new number 9. So now we're going to get on to this one. Best performance of the season. Right. This is a tough one for me because I look at this and I see Tottenham away, good performance, come back, but we was 3-0 down. Like, we was 3-0 down. Like, we can't not forget that. We was 3-0 down against the team in 16 minutes. And then we managed to pull it round in the last sort of 10. So, yeah, it was a good performance there. But the best performance for me, there's 2 of them. I think the Palace away game, we go 1-0 down and then we completely destroyed that team. And they scored a goal in the 94th minute to make it 3-2. We should have had 7 that night. Easily should have had 7. Saïd Benrahma was running things and turning at the post multiple times. We completely destroyed Palace away. And the Aston Villa away game. This is a Villa team that was in prime form at the time, and basically we turned up there and we done a job on them big time. The whole team performance was top quality. The absolute, like, is a complete team performance in my opinion, and basically I think that is the performance of the season for me. Like, Jesse Lingard emergence, Saïd Benrahma assisted Souček. Souček scored the goal to get us in front yet again. So, yeah, Aston Villa away from me. As a player's individual performance, you've got to say Lingard. You've also got to say it was the best sort of team performance in the first 30 minutes against Arsenal. That's the best I've ever seen West Ham play, if I'm honest. In them 30 minutes against Arsenal, we completely destroyed Arsenal. But yeah, Lingard against Villa is the one for me, I'm afraid. Absolutely. GSB, summer, winter transfer windows. Now, I've got mixed views on this. I really have. In the summer, we needed more than what we got. We signed Cresswell for 5.4 million. We made Souček's loan permanent, which was about 18 million. We loaned Dawson. We loaned Benrahma. And that was it. And to me, that's not good enough, I'm afraid. It really ain't. I know they've done well, yeah, but we needed more than that. and it proves it because of the squad depth. I believe we need another one, if not two players at the club, especially when there's players in the team like, i.e., Anderson, who's still here, Yarmolenko still here, etc. But the players that come in done well. I'll give them a 7 for that window. They've been lucky in that window because all the players that have come in done well. The winter transfer window, we get rid of Snodgrass, we get rid of Haller, we bring in Lingard. Yet again, I was disappointed again. Like, you go and get rid of Sebastian Haller. I understand it. I get it. You sign Lingard, right? I get that, but we're still a player down. Like, you go and get rid of Snodgrass, right? If you go and get another a proper defensive midfield player or a left back, we win the games that we draw or lose. Do you know what I mean? We've needed a left back all season. We've needed a left back for the last 2 years, and we still haven't got one for some reason. And obviously, Masuaku's been injured, and when Cresswell goes down, we've got no left-sided player. So I'm going to give the winter transfer window a 6. I believe they could have done more in that winter transfer window, considering where we was in the league, and to show a bit of ambition. I believe they could have done more. And I really do believe that. Do you know what I mean? When you're in, you've got to seize the moment, in my opinion. And they didn't. They just sort of went, you know what? We're giving that. That's it. That keeping quiet. They did make Benrahma and Dawson's loans permanent, but Dawson's loan was only 2.2 million. Benrahma's would have been paid this summer. So really, they was only doing what they was going to do in the first place anyway. So yeah, it made no sense to me. So yeah, I'll give them a 6 on that winter transfer window, but they could have done more. David Moyes and his backroom staff. Sadly, and it's breaking news tonight, that Alan Irvine has left. I believe he's got a job somewhere else. He's a good manager, and he should be managing a club. I'm going to start off with the backroom staff before I get to Moyes. The backroom staff have been top quality all season. Alan Irvine come in when David Moyes got COVID. He got a ratio of a 7-0 ratio, 7 goals plus to 0. He takes the team up to Leicester. People say it's David Moyes' tactics, but David Moyes wasn't there, I'm afraid. Alan Irvine was there, the backroom staff was there, and they'd done a complete demolition job on Leicester. They played Wolves 4-0, same thing again. Dreamland, absolute dreamland. So yeah, the backroom staff take a huge amount of credit. All of them, Nevin, Nolan, Pierce, Irvine, they've all been amazing. And yeah, without them, I don't think we would have done so good this season. Moving to David Moyes, I think David Moyes done great this season, but there is a but here. There's been games this year where he's let games go, and big games at that. The first game that comes to mind is Manchester United away. We played them on a Sunday, I think it was. Sunday night, I think it was. And they played on a Thursday night against AC Milan, and basically they had injuries, and we set up there 5 at the back with wing backs trying to defend, basically. And as a club, that's not what we want to see. We want to see us go forward. And people say, well, he's trying to get a point there, but he didn't get a point, right? He set up negative against Brighton at home on the 27th of December. Yeah, again, like, Brighton are the new Real Madrid all of a sudden. Like, there's been a few mysterious things he's done this season, like the number 10 of Mark Noble, which makes no sense. But in the overall grand scheme of things, him and his backroom staff get a 9 out of 10 for me. What they've done at the club in a short space of time has been phenomenal, and they deserve the success that they've got. I just want to see him be a bit more adventurous when he's playing these top boys, like not set up in a way that he's so scared to lose, but he's not afraid to win, basically. Do you know what I mean? He needs to be going forward against these teams. Like we set up the similar way against Liverpool. Liverpool had lost against Burnley and Brighton in between us, and they come to the London Stadium, and basically we set up like they're the champions of last season, but they weren't. They had missing players and missing links all over the place. But yeah, like, to end it on a positive, he's done great. He has done great. I don't know about what happened in January with regards to the January window. I don't know whether he was being stubborn or the owners were being stubborn, but someone was being stubborn about not getting a striker in at the club. I'm not saying a striker was going to do the same as Lingard. He might not have done. But if he would have scored 5 goals this season at 3 or 4 different times in games, we might have been singing the Champions League theme tunes rather than the Europa League. But you've got to give credit to him in what he's done. And yeah, he gets a 9 out of 10 for me with his backroom staff. It's a bit of a blow with Irvine going, but I believe that he's got a job somewhere else. I reckon someone's given him a managerial job, and he deserves it. And good luck to him at the end of the day. So yeah, that is my player ratings, and I'm going to give you a final thought before I wrap it up. And my final thought is the future is bright at the club. I hope that I see the same like this next season. And I hope I don't see it when the fans go back and if it goes back to normal, that we go back to normal, like the same old West Ham. We need to spend some money in the summer. We need 2 strikers at this club. We need a midfielder, left back, a centre half, and that's just to start with. And it's not about quantity; it's about quality. Now, I want to see quality at the club, but I also want to see reinforcements at this club, because there's been too many times this year where we've been getting away with picking up the same team over and over again. Cresswell's played every game near enough. Souček's played every game near enough. And we've lost players right at key times. Now, if we'd have had the personnel at the club, we might have done even better than we've done now. So, yeah, I want to see progression. Right, I want us to go for something in a cup next season and have a right go at it, and not our owners turn around and saying that basically this is like £55,000 to travel to Everton. I want us to be travelling to places to win. Do you know what I mean? I'm 34 years of age. I've never seen West Ham lift a cup. I've seen West Ham lift a playoff trophy twice. I've seen West Ham get relegated twice. So I want to see some progression now. And at the end of the day, it is all about progression at the club. And to sort of end it on that, the owners have to step up now, in my opinion. There's no excuses. There's no, they've got no money. They've got a team in the Europa League. Now we've got to start acting like a big club, in my opinion. And like, we've got to stop thinking, we're going to settle for finishing 14th or 12th. 6 years ago, Leicester were fighting relegation. 5 years ago, they was winning the Premier League. Like, this like, things can change. Like, we've seen the decline of Tottenham now. Tottenham are falling apart. Arsenal ain't the Arsenal of old. Leicester have basically gone into that position and made that position their own now. They buy well, they sell well, and I just want to see progression at the club, because, as I say it again, I never left Upton Park to be fighting relegation. And if we want to keep Declan Rice, Thomas Souček, etc., they don't want to do that either, and they will be gone. So yeah, to end it on a positive note, I want to see some really top players coming in at the club in the summer. We do need a striker. I'd love to see a Seamer at the club. Like, if Seamer signs, I'll be buzzing. I will be. Ivan Toney, I'd like to see him now. Even Adam Armstrong up at Blackburn, he's a good player and he's well within our budget. I think we need 2 strikers at the club. So yeah, I do want to see some bodies at the club. I'm excited for the next season. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Europa draw is. So yeah, that's my final thought on the 2020-2021 season player ratings, full squad player ratings. And yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. I really am. Like, I've enjoyed doing these, and this is my ratings. And I am pretty brutally honest. Like, I won't beat around the bush. I won't say someone's done amazing when people keep forgetting the stuff that they didn't do. I'm so much amazing. So yeah. Thanks for all the comments in the comment section. I see everyone's put a load of comments in, and yeah, it's all love. It's all love from me to everyone else. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I've got 4 more to do tomorrow, and then I am done for the summer. And I just want to thank you guys who's been watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, onwards and upwards. We're going to see what happens next season, and double shift. It's a double shift next season, lads. Do you know what I mean? And ladies. So yeah, but subscribe if you're new, like, share, all that goes a long way. This has been my player ratings for the 2020-2021 season, and take care and good night.